Welcome back into another episode of the Huskers Radio Network podcast. I'm Jessica Coody, and we continue our newcomer series, getting to know the new Huskers that are on campus this summer, and a little Nebraska volleyball edition for you today. Layla Blackwell, the middle blocker transfer from San Diego. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You've been here for what, a couple weeks now. How have you settled in? It was a whirlwind getting here, but
Yes.
have you settled in all right?
Absolutely settled in. All my teammates and our staff made it so easy, and yeah, I love being here. I actually really like Lincoln.
So you graduated and then hopped in the car
Yes.
and made your way to Nebraska, right?
Yes, graduated on Sunday, drove out Monday morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
How rewarding, though, was that to be able to have your degree and to walk across that stage?
It was so amazing, and I got to do it with some of my best friends at San Diego and my teammates, and it was a blast.
Well, you started your career at Indiana, so familiar with the Big Ten, but went to San Diego and did some incredible things there with that program. But when you entered the transfer portal, can you take me through that decision and what you were looking for in your final year of college volleyball?
Yeah, totally. So I had the best experience at San Diego. I mean, we had a really rewarding year in our 2022 season. I got to play with some really talented players and get coached by some of the best. And I loved my experience there. But after doing some reflecting and just kind of like acknowledging the fact that this fifth year is truly a gift from my COVID year as a freshman, I really just wanted a new experience, and I wanted to go back to the Big Ten. And that was definitely my goal entering the portal, is I want to get back to the best volleyball, best conference, most competitive. And somehow, some way, I got to come here, and I'm just so excited.
That's amazing. So, I got to imagine you had to have a checklist of what you were looking for. So, for Nebraska, other than being Nebraska, what was it that you felt like you could fit here and make an impact here?
Yeah, I mean, I think what stood out to me the most throughout that process was just knowing how strong the team culture is here. And through my experience and through my years of college volleyball, that is something that really can make or break your entire experience. And knowing that our coaches are really supportive of the girls, and we're all really on the same page about our goals and what we want to accomplish during the season. I just felt like something that was so empowering to be a part of, and that really stood out to me the most.
I love that. Well, so you already are familiar then with the fandom of Nebraska volleyball and the Husker Nation. You actually got to play in Omaha in the Final Four. You mentioned that 2022 season. What was that like, and getting to experience that?
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. It was so cold. But we actually, University of San Diego, we had a good section, but a lot of our fans and stuff, we were just new to Omaha, but walking around and being in the hotel and all of that, we actually had some Husker fans come up to us and say, good luck tonight, we hope you guys win.
That's cool.
And that whole thing, and that was really cool to kind of experience. And just I don't know, I think anyone in the volleyball world knows how strong and how supportive Husker Nation is. And even before I had met Anni Evans, even before I transferred here, getting to kind of experience that firsthand was really special.
So you took me to my next question. Anni Evans, she transferred to San Diego last year. You were teammates with her. We love her around here. How good was it to have her to be able to reflect and talk about maybe what you're going to get out of being a Nebraska Cornhusker?
Yeah, it's so funny, and Anni and I talk about this all the time, but her and I are basically just swapping lives for a little bit, because she grew up here in Waverly outside of Lincoln. I grew up in San Diego. She's doing a grad program there, and I'm here for my last year. But it was so important to have her insight, and just getting to kind of, obviously I got to talk to a lot of the girls and a lot of the players through my recruiting process, but also getting to kind of talk to somebody that A, I was so close with, and B, had grown up in Lincoln was so helpful. And knowing that her family is here, and they've been super helpful to me too. But yeah, it was just great to have her insight, and she's just such a special person, and she made such an impact on this program too. So it was really cool to get to get all the deets from her.
Absolutely. She is a special person. What were some of the things that she sold you on, that she said that you could expect, that you really like what she said?
Yeah. I think first and foremost, she really, really hit home that Husker Nation is unlike anything else. She was like, you're going to be at the grocery store and like someone might ask you for a picture. Or, like, people are going to care about like what you're up to, who you are, and they want to ask you how you're doing. And obviously, like, this fandom and like the support that our program has is so, so unique. And I don't think other people in college volleyball get to experience it at this level, which I just thought was really, really special to have all of that support really backing volleyball. Another thing that her and I spent a lot of time talking about was just the competitive nature of being in the gym. And I think that's something that I was really, really excited about and really looking for as well. And just hearing the stories of like her time here and practices and games and all of that, it just sounded like sounded like a blast. So yeah.
What does that say about Anni and this program that, you know, she transfers but still has such glowing reviews of Nebraska?
Yeah. I mean, that in itself is like so powerful to me. And I think the fact that like obviously she's going down a different path now and she's like doing incredible things academically and like athletically at San Diego, but the fact that through my recruiting process, she's giving me all this feedback and all this insight, and it's just glowing reviews of the program, and she still has a great relationship with the staff and the girls, and when she comes home, she's still basically a part of it. I thought that was so special and just like makes me want to be a part of that as well.
I love that. So we heard a lot over the spring about, you know, building the culture and, you know, that, and the team wasn't even all together yet. So, but a lot of FaceTimes. How did you go about trying to be a part this spring, what you could, being that you were still in California?
Yeah, definitely a lot of FaceTimes, a lot of texting. Luckily enough, I think both Taylor and I got put into like team group chats and like we're trying to stay in touch with everyone. But I actually had like a really great opportunity to meet the girls before I even got here. So they were in California playing beach volleyball, and they played down in San Diego, and then they played at Long Beach. So both Anni and I got to go, and one of my teammates from San Diego is Amber Stivrins, who's Lauren Stivrins' little sister. So I actually went with Lauren to one of the beach games too. And obviously, like, that's just the best kind of support to be able to meet all these new people and see them in person and have these like two legendary players from the program. It just made it so much easier.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So take me back to, I know your mom played volleyball, right? But how you fell in love with the sport, how you got into it, and leading to a college career.
Yeah. My parents had tried me in soccer and basketball and a little bit of tennis growing up. I mean, sports are just really big in my family. I did not like any of those sports. I remember my mom telling me stories of how when I was really, really little playing soccer, my dad was my coach and I would run off the field and go sit down next to my dog. So once I kind of found volleyball and I really stuck with it and wanted to work at it and wanted to like keep playing, my parents were like, oh, okay, this is perfect. Like, let's keep her in volleyball. I started playing at a really small club that started like kind of in my neighborhood in San Diego. And then as things kind of got more competitive, I moved kind of around different clubs and then eventually landed at Coast. And then, yeah, everything kind of just happened from there.
Wow. So your mom played professionally too, right? Does she ever talk about just the growth, I guess, since she played?
Yeah, she played a little bit on the AVP in her younger years. And yeah, I mean, both my parents were kind of around the beach volleyball scene during that time. And it's just like so different now. Like the support that everyone's getting, the widespread like knowledge of the sport in general. Like there's more people that really know what it is and know the difference between beach and indoor and all of that. And I think especially something that really stood out to them was the stadium match that we had here, but that we got to watch last year. That was just so incredibly powerful to see. Like that made such an impact on the sport and in women's sports in general. So yeah, that's very, very cool and very different from just, you know, volleyball a couple decades ago.
Oh, absolutely. That gives me chills just thinking about it. So what did your parents say when you said, I'm going to head to Nebraska?
Oh my gosh, they were so excited for me. Yeah, they've been so supportive of me and my career, and obviously have made a couple big decisions just regarding my athletic career before, but I think it was just so exciting for them to really see me getting to come back to the Big Ten. And I think it's honestly probably any little girl's dream growing up to be recruited by a program like Nebraska. And even though I'm a fifth year, it still makes me just like glow that I get to be here and that this is my experience and I got recruited here. And I think they were just so excited. And obviously we know the Evanses, and just there's a great community of support here, and they're really excited to come out for a lot of games.
I love that. So the middle blocker position, you join Rebecca Alec and Andy Jackson. You know, that trio for you guys now. But being able to have 3 different middle blockers that can rotate in and be able to provide for this team, how important is that? And just again, you talk about the competition in the gym for Nebraska practicing, but how good is that to have multiple middle blockers that can contribute?
Yeah, I think it's going to be incredible. I think Andy and Rebecca are some of the most talented middle blockers I've gotten the pleasure to be on the same team with. I think most importantly, though, it's just going to create such a competitive environment on a daily basis. And regardless of anything else, like, that is really, really important to me. And I know it's really important to them. And they're some of the most competitive girls already I've ever met. And it's so fun in the gym. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a really good time getting to train with them. And also, even though I'm the old person in the gym now, like, getting to learn from them and kind of pick up like our systems from them has been really easy, and they've been so supportive and helpful. So
I love that. So what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish here during the summer before you guys get all together for team and preseason, all of that?
Definitely taking advantage of the time that we have together. Obviously, some of the girls are out of town right now training with their national teams, and that's so exciting. So the smaller group of us have really been spending a lot of time working out and doing open gyms and hanging out and just building like those connections as much as we can. And obviously I really want to build those as fast as possible because our season's going to start very soon. So I think most importantly in the summer, obviously we're getting the reps, we're working hard, we're getting stronger, but I think like this program just really strives off of those connections, and it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm building those. So that's my focus.
Oh, that's great. What do Husker fans need to know about you? What kind of player are you? What do you provide? How do you? How are you on the court? What's your style of play like?
I mean, like anyone else on this team, I love to get fired up when I'm playing. I think my like kind of thought process and something that I've kind of really leaned into throughout my collegiate career is like just really big celebrations for my teammates and really leaning on my teammates during games and just in general and in life. Like, that is so important to me. I hope that Husker Nation gets to see my fire on the court and my energy, because I think that's what makes watching volleyball so fun, is getting to see all of us go crazy and celebrate each other. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just so excited to really, really experience Husker Nation. Like, I can't even wait for our first match at home.
Husker Nation's excited for you too. You know, being that you know that this is it for you in your college career, does it change your approach? How are you going about, again, making sure that you take advantage of every opportunity you have in your final season?
Yeah, I think it is a little bit of a unique perspective that maybe I missed out on in my earlier years in my career, because now it really does feel final. But I think like just staying really present is my goal throughout this experience. It is like one of the most unique volleyball experiences I'll probably have. And I really just want to like enjoy it and build as many connections as I can while I'm here. Obviously take advantage of the incredible coaching and incredible level of play in the gym. And I think that's what I'm most excited about. And just really knowing that like we're going to have a very special year, and I get to be a part of that, and that makes me so excited and so grateful.
Oh, I love that. I just had one more question. What is that like coming into a team that has such high expectations and that came off the national championship appearance, and you've been at the Final Four, but how is that going into that and the expectations that are already there?
Yeah, you know, after my San Diego team and I lost in the Final Four, there was just something that was like so unsettled in me, and I knew that like that's exactly where I want to be. I know that we could have won. I know that there's many different things that could have happened, but I want to be back on that court. I want to be back in that environment, and I think kind of carrying that personal like feeling and getting to come into a group that has that exact same fire and drive and goal for this season makes me really excited and really like helps kind of invigorate like those goals within me as well. So honestly, I think it's the perfect match because we all want to go back there and we all are ready to win. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to Lincoln. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I love Lincoln so far. It's been the best, and I'm just so happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that is Layla Blackwell with Nebraska Volleyball, the senior middle blocker, with us here on our newcomer series on the Huskers Radio Network podcast. Thanks for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe and like wherever you listen to never miss an episode.